Good evening. Welcome to the weekly project update. It is Monday, August 12th. We're going to open today's meeting with Friends of Mozilla. Hardly a week goes by where Mozilla tech speakers are not engaging with developer audiences around the globe. Last week was no exception. Tech speakers Irene, Candy, Michelle, Pearl, and Yamama all presented talks and workshops at conferences in their regions. Thank you for all of your great work. Let's give a round of applause for our tech speakers this week. Next up, we have the weekly calendar. It looks like our event for the calendar week is Thursday, August 15th, the Homebrew Website Club, which is a growing worldwide network of meetups for everyone who wants to take back control of their web experience from social media silos and own their online identities, content, and interactions. We have a new Homebrew Website Club location, Barnsley, England. See details and RSVP link in the wiki agenda. We also have listed in the agenda later events and available tickets, the Mozilla DevRel complimentary tickets program, and upcoming events that are further out than a week on the calendar. So do check out the agenda for a wide range of conferences and opportunities for free tickets to developer events. And with that, we move on to our speakers. Our first speaker is Tim Murray, coming to us from the San Francisco office. Hey, Tim.
Hi, so thank you very much. Really excited to announce some new office identification. If you can go to the next slide, please. So Mozilla Spaces have typically been identified using stickers that look like they were old luggage tags. And now we are bringing the iconography into our Mozilla brand look. And we did this with a lot of help from folks in all of our offices. So WPR worked through our office service coordinators to identify what icons best symbolized a particular city. We then did an initial design, took on feedback, focusing on the consistent and objective responses. We got tons of responses about whether a particular building or symbol was right for a particular city. And then we created the final identities, which I'm about to share with you. These will start to show up on the Monday project call in a week or so. There'll be stickers in the reception areas of all of our offices, and we may even have a new interactive artwork piece that will be in our reception areas. So drum roll, please. Here's what things start to look like. Next slide, please. Taipei and Portland. And next. Vancouver and London. Next. Paris and Mountain View. And San Francisco and Pocket San Francisco gets their own look and feel. Next. Berlin and Toronto, lots of towers in these. Next. Finally, not to be left out, are remoties. And then you can go to the next slide, please. This is what the lower thirds on our Airmo screens will look like. And you'll begin to see those in the next week or so. This is what the whole set looks like together. Lots of consistent branding here. And it's going to be exciting to start seeing laptops with many cities on them. And then final slide, just some thanks to folks who helped. The office service coordinators did an amazing job of getting this through our whole organization. The designer here was James Dibvig on our creative team, and then everybody who participated by providing their feedback. If you have questions or other feedback, you can reach out to me on Slack or to Rob Middleton. And that's it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Super exciting to see this come together. These stickers or these images show up on our weekly Air Mozilla broadcast under each of the offices that present. So I'm personally excited to see this, also looking forward to getting a sticker for my laptop. Next up on the agenda, we have Kelly Davis with the Emerging Technologies update this week.
Hello. Hello, I'm Kelly Davis, and basically going to give the update really accompanied by our text-to-speech engine, which will help me out and actually do most of the work.
First, the View Source update. Our annual View Source event is September 30th and October 1st in Amsterdam. The event schedule is now available on the website with 2 full days of great talks on subjects like the shape of the web and the web platform, JavaScript, CSS, augmented reality, performance tuning, privacy, and more. There will also be smaller breakout sessions for conversations, lightning talks, and even some live podcast streaming. Registration is open and there are diversity tickets available at low or no cost to individuals who may need assistance. Details on speakers, venue, hotels and more are all on the website. Hope to see you there. Speaking of events, Mozilla is a sponsor of a number of upcoming events we wanted to make sure you knew about. Brazil.js, one of the world's largest JavaScript conferences, is August 23rd and 24th in Porto Alegre, Brazil. Abstractions, a multidisciplinary conference that spans all of modern software development, is August 21st through 23rd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Celtic Language Technology Workshop, a workshop for researchers interested in developing natural language processing resources and technologies for Celtic languages, is on August 19 in Dublin, Ireland. And RustConf will bring more than 600 Rust developers together in Portland, Oregon, August 22nd and 23rd. Last, but not least, there's me, that voice in your ear. Recently, I was compared by actual humans against voices from Google, Apple, Microsoft, Voicery, and Amazon. Also, real human voices were in the competition too. I don't mean to brag, but I beat out all the synthetic voices and almost all the humans. I know Kelly, for one, welcomes our new computer overlords, as you should too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. That was exciting. Also, do we have a name for our speaker here?
No, unfortunately. Ask Tim.
Okay. Next up, thank you again, Kelly. That was definitely interesting. How can we use that? Kelly, maybe you can tell us real quickly where we can find out more information about how to use that feature.
That right now it's in code in a repo under Mozilla TTS, and there's several models there. This in particular is the model. It's a Takatron plus Wave RNN. Unfortunately, like right now, that particular voice is trained on a data set we basically got from professional voice talent. And this voice can't be used externally from Mozilla right now. We have to do some contractual sort of negotiations before we can use it outside of Mozilla. So for internal meetings like this, it's fine, but for external stuff, we still need to do some negotiation, let's say.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Andrew Krug coming to us with the IT Minute.
It's time for the Weekly Minute Update, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to empower Mozillians in their mission to keep the web, a global public resource, open and accessible to all. If you've noticed the different backdrop today, that's due to the fact that I'm still in Las Vegas, traveling back from Hacker Summer Camp. More updates on that next week. Our first update today comes from WPR. In July, we conducted a series of test drills for emergency response using the XMatters platform. Survey data from that exercise shows that most people found it easy to respond to the test drill. Don't forget that you can add XMatters to your mobile device by visiting the link below. Next, an important announcement about Office mailing lists. New Office mailing lists were created last week to make it easier for different Mozilla teams to notify the right people at physical locations. For anyone that's assigned to an office, you'll be automatically enrolled in the list that matches your workday location. For anyone else who'd like to get specific location-based mailings, please visit the following link to enroll. If you're unsure of your workday location, you can see it on your people.mozilla.org profile. And with that, that's the minute. I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have me, Asa Dotzler, coming to you with the weekly Firefox update. This week, I'm doing something a little bit different. I actually brought some pictures to show you as well as to describe to you some of the changes that have come in Firefox. So bear with me while I try to manage to open some pictures in new tabs. Firefox 68.0.1 is our current stable release. There's a 68.0.2 hanging in the wings. I'm not sure when the release is for that. I think possibly sometime this week. Firefox 69 is in beta, and that ships to the stable release on September 3rd. Over the last week, about 15 bug fixes have been uplifted to beta, and beta 13 out of a scheduled 16 ships tomorrow, and beta 14 goes out Friday. So we are coming into the home stretch of our beta cycle, of our train cycle. Firefox 70 is in the nightly channel, and that ships to the stable release. Pardon me. Oops, I should have clicked cancel on that. I think it was a flash install pop-up. Firefox 70 is in the nightly channel, ships to the stable release on October 22nd. Over the last week, there have been about 420 bugs fixed in nightly, including these notable changes. Behind an about config pref, but hopefully to come out soon, Gecko now supports text decoration skip ink. The text decoration skip ink CSS property specifies how overlines and underlines, I think we mostly care about underlines because that's how links are drawn on the web. It describes how overlines and underlines are drawn when they pass over glyph ascenders and descenders. You can see an example of that right here if I can open this up. Where this bottom of the screen you can see you should go grab a cup of coffee. The G descenders and the P descenders, which dip down below the underline, cause the underline to break now, to separate. So we'll be able to read text and links and underline text a little bit easier. This is one of those rare changes where the default will be changing. As I understand it, we're going to enable skip ink underlining for the underlines that are out there on the web today, and web developers who want to opt out of this have to specify in their CSS that they don't want the skip ink underlines. So this is going to be a change to improve readability across the web. Next up, the Firefox content blocking panel has been split into two sections, blocking and not blocking, and it now shows a banner explaining enhanced tracking protection right in the protection panel, and I'll show you what that looks like. As you can see, there's a banner that shows up in the protections panel. This shows up one time when you first visit the panel, and it gives you a description about browsing without being followed and how enhanced tracking protection is protecting you online. Next up, social tracking protection has been enabled in Firefox on Nightly. Social trackers are now blocked as part of the standard tracking protection, and the tracking protection preferences panel has been updated so that you can see social protections have taken effect, and that panel looks like this. Standard protections now include social media trackers, cross-site tracking cookies, tracking content in private windows, crypto miners, and fingerprinters. These will all be blocked by standard tracking protection in Firefox 70 Nightly. In preparation for moving the EV indication from the address bar to the identity panel, we've got two new about config prefs. One for showing a normal lock icon for extended validation secured sites, and one for making the lock icon gray. I'll show you what that looks like. As you can see, the top line, maybe it's a little difficult to see, is PayPal as it looks on current release builds. Or on the latest nightly build without the pref enabled, where we show the extended validation PayPal Incorporated US in the address bar. With the preference flipped to show a regular lock icon, you see the second row there. The PayPal Inc. US disappears from the address bar and moves into the identity panel. And then the third row there shows what the lock icon looks like when it's gray rather than green. Breach alerts have been enabled for the new login manager, and the login manager has a sort by breached websites option. Also, the new login manager now shows favicons next to each login instead of the default globe icon. I thought about taking a screenshot of my passwords, but then decided against it. Also, I had already cleared out my passwords with breached logins, so I didn't have anything to share with you all there. Last but not least, all 3 channels for Firefox got updated logos. This has been a couple of months in the making, and here is a picture of the nightly About screen with the new Firefox logo in it. I think it looks really, really good. I also like how they've done a color gradient in the nightly word mark under Firefox browser. You will see these new logos with the Firefox with the shrunken globe and more manifest tail and missing the arm show up in nightly dev channel and release builds coming soon. That's it for the Firefox Weekly Update. With that, I will reload to see if anything else has come on the agenda, and if not, we will move to our last section of the meeting, which is welcome. Let's say hello to some new Mozillians. First off, in San Francisco, we have Matt with an introduction.
This is Matt from Pocket. I'm here with Stephanie Pesson today, who is joining our team. She is joining as an engineering manager, actually our first dedicated engineering manager, so really excited to have Stephanie joining us. She's going to be starting off managing our front-end team. She most recently comes from Envision, and she's going to be based out of New York City. So welcome, Stephanie.
Excited to meet you all.
Chris Fallon, and Chris is joining us from Carnegie Mellon, and he's going to be working on the SpiderMonkey team. So welcome, Chris.
Hello.
Welcome, Chris. One final reload of the agenda to see if anything else has come on. It doesn't look like it. Do we have any other introductions at the Mozilla offices? It looks like that's it for the week. Thank you all for joining us. Hope to see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, keep on rocking the free web.